want to thank you for joining us for Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. I'm Ron Corning, and today we are talking about Toyota's driving possibilities. We introduced you to the program a couple of years ago, and it was incredibly inspiring. Well, now we're at a milestone, an opportunity to really take an accounting of how Toyota has become such a valuable corporate citizen to the people who live in West Dallas, everything from transportation to education to helping the food insecure. Colleen Casey is here. She's the Executive Director of Driving Possibilities. And Colleen, it's nice to see you again. And also Dr. Stephanie Knight joining us as well from SMU. And we'll talk to you in just a moment about how you're such an integral part of this program. But Colleen, a couple of years ago when we stood in that West Dallas STEM school talking about the expansion of this program and seeing how children were beginning to really lean into it, where do you feel it's at now 2 years later?
Yeah. First, it's great to be back here with our partners to talk about this work. I feel like we are having tremendous success. We continually learn every day, and as we learn, we continue to understand what additional challenges do our students and families face that we need to solve for so they can holistically have that educational experience that all of our children deserve.
Yeah, because every part and piece of this really complements the other. It is a holistic approach. Like, you can't have a child who's coming to school without nutrition and expect them to excel in science. And also support for teachers who face their own challenges, even in our public school districts. Dr. Knight, that's where SMU really comes in and plays such an integral role. Will you explain to people sort of to what extent you've taken the power of SMU and brought it to bear here for the community of West Dallas?
Yes, well, Simmons has several elements. Simmons is a school in SMU, several elements that are just perfectly suited for this kind of project. First of all, instruction, teaching, learning is our emphasis, and we prepare teachers as well, and we provide professional development. But we also understand the power of partnerships in those educational endeavors, and particularly in West Dallas. When I came to town, we knew that West Dallas wanted educational opportunities and that they were interested in STEM careers. So we have provided professional development for teachers, we've provided curriculum for the classrooms, and we've also coordinated the wraparound services via our Bud Center, which has a long history of being in West Dallas.
And we're going to talk to a couple of your folks who are part of the Bud Center and then in turn part of this development in West Dallas. I'm wondering to what extent at this point as you assess your relationship and the progress you've made, was there anything about this along the way that surprised you for the better, where you thought we didn't realize this would be as successful or we didn't expect to see that outcome?
Well, I think one of the things I've been impressed with is the way that Toyota understands that it takes time to develop a partnership, and that you need to be able to work together well, and you need to have a sense of continuous improvement. So what surprises me is that whenever we hit a roadblock, I guess I'll say that if we'll keep the
a speed bump.
A speed bump.
How's that? That's better.
As we're following our roadmap.
Right.
That whenever we hit one of those bumps, we get together, we figure out what needs to be done, what went wrong, what can we do better. And so there's this sense of continuous improvement in all the areas that we're doing, including the wraparound services, including relationships between the partners, and also the ways that we're working with students and faculty.
I know in the past we've talked about how Toyota's processes, the way your assembly line processes work, can really be transferable to, for example, how Brother Bill's Helping Hand brings people through their line to be more efficient. When you see them at work, bringing to the table their knowledge of how things can work more efficiently, does it help you sort of expand your knowledge as well as you continue to grow SMU's presence?
Absolutely, and in fact, our team at Simmons spent several Friday afternoons, several hours learning how to work with the processes that we had in the university. So it transfers, their process, the Toyota way, transfers to other entities as well, and we've learned from them.
And Colleen, as I understand it, what's happened in West Dallas, and Dr. Knight, with your collaboration and your teamwork, has lent itself to a model that you feel confident and comfortable can be used other places in the country. Is that already rolling out?
Yeah. So thank you for that question. And again, this is the value and the power of partnership. So through this work, we learned that there are core components that all of our students and families need to be able to thrive in the educational space on that journey to college and career. And we've also learned, though, that each community has its own assets and resources. So as we've expanded on and what we call the inspiration, which was right here in West Dallas, we learn what are those other assets and resources in those communities. To date, we've announced now the Driving Possibilities Initiative in 9 other locations across the country. Very much focused on what we've learned in partnership with Southern Methodist University about the importance of hands-on STEM ed, teacher professional development, and the need for mobility and basic needs to wrap around those supports for those students. So we're very excited about that work.
That has to be a measure of success, that the SMU fingerprints, your DNA, are sort of part of this program nationwide.
Absolutely. We were charged with creating a model through research and evaluation that could be transported other places. And so it's like living the research project through the Toyota expansion. We'll be able to see how it needs to be adjusted and how successful it is, what works for what groups, under what conditions.
Well, we've got several guests joining us today via Zoom. One of them is Nancy Bernardino. She's the Associate Superintendent over the Office of Transformation and Innovation. And Dr. Bernardino, I'm really curious to know from where you sit, and I know we've spoken before as well, what are you most pleased about when it comes to measuring success and the progress you've made in the couple of years since this program's been part of the community?
Yeah, I think what I'm most proud of is just the experiences, right, that it's affording our students. Being able, I mean, Toyota has been a great partner and SMU as well, right, in giving our kids experiences, field trips, taking them to places, visiting Toyota headquarters, STEM hands-on activities in the classroom to really immerse them into the possibilities of STEM career. And while they're young, right, we know that the earlier we can expose them to that, the more likely they are to gain an interest in the STEM field and then be able to contribute, right, as they go on beyond Dallas ISD and into college and career.
There's a number of components to this that we're going to talk about. We referenced one of them, and that's nutrition, making sure that kids are getting what they need nutritionally so they can perform at their best. Also, parental involvement is an important component. And I know that's not always easy, right? Because families are trying to make it all work. They're juggling a lot. But are you seeing progress in that way? And lots of times it doesn't necessarily mean a parent coming to the school and spending time. It's just the way in which they connect maybe differently. Are you seeing progress there, and what does that look like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're right on, right? Parent engagement looks a variety of different ways. It can be coming to the campus and supporting and learning through a workshop, or it can be just engaging with teachers. And I think that's one of the things that this partnership has also helped us do is empower our parents, right, to ask questions of the school and to attend, whether it's attend workshops or participate and engage in the community so that they're better informed on how to support their child.
Are you seeing students sort of come alive in a way that's wholly as a person, where as they lean into areas of interest that they didn't know they had, maybe in science or literature or writing, and they're becoming more who they're meant to be? Are you seeing that in kids?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the great benefits of STEM, it really nurtures curiosity in kids, right? And it's something that kids are naturally curious. And I think this approach really nurtures that and allows them to be curious for a longer time. And so that can be curiosity through literacy or through hands-on exploration with experiments as they're in the outdoor garden space, right? It absolutely nurtures that curiosity, questioning, and we know that helps make them stronger critical thinkers.
I'm wondering, Colleen and Dr. Knight, both of you, what does it do for your organization and the people that work for you and work at Toyota? Because I see them over there at the school as well, your team members being very hands-on and very involved. What has it done for your culture?
This partnership has been equally as beneficial for our own team members as it has been the students and families and community members in West Dallas. Our team members go out, they're able to give back to these students, and it fills them so much with joy and that ability to share or pass forward something they may not have had when they were young. So we hear comments all the time from our team members about how thankful they are for the opportunity, but how much those students excited and re-energize our team members. It's really powerful.
I wonder if it helps them connect differently with their own children and have conversations around education and their own goals.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it also helps them connect more with Toyota and be engaged because they are able to do this as part of their time and commitment. So,
is there anything particularly special about your involvement with Toyota and what's happening in West Dallas at SMU that sort of reinvigorates who you all are or reinforces who you are already?
Well, I think the fact that we're not doing this alone. We have partners who share our goal, and our goal is to raise the levels of students and families in West Dallas.
A better quality of life overall.
Yes, overall. And I think our faculty get excited because research into practice is something that they believe in. And to have partners in the school district, in Toyota, in the parents and nonprofit members in the community is absolutely exciting.
Well, that's a perfect segue because we have some of those partners here, and they're going to talk about ways in which they've been able to step fully more into who they are as organizations because of your help and your help at Toyota and how you're all helping each other. And in the end, who benefits the most? The students who live there and those families in West Dallas. And we'll be back in just a moment. To learn more about driving possibilities in Dallas and in cities across the U.S., visit toyotaeffect.com. All right, everyone, we are back and continuing our conversation, and we are headed out to the front line. And Maria Silva, who's been a teacher in DISD for 7 years. She's been with the STEM school in West Dallas for 3 years, Maria, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
So you really have been able to see over the course of time and compare it to your earlier experiences as a teacher, the value of this program. Where do you see it most in these students?
Well, I actually see it most in some of their abilities to think critically about different subjects. So, for example, I teach the second and third graders, and this is my second year with that same class. And the way that they have grown and they're able to verbalize everything that they're learning, it has been so amazing, and the different connections that they make with different topics that sometimes you're like, well, why is a 7-year-old or talking about this? But they're so eager to learn, and they just want to be curious about the world around them.
So when you break down a problem in science and you find a solution, what you're saying is that helps exercise that muscle for them, and they apply it to other things in their life?
Oh, yes, definitely. I have the opportunity to teach the English language arts and social studies pieces, and I have seen how they use their science and engineering design into our lessons. So just taking a piece of literature and breaking down, well, why is this happening, Ms. Silva? And why do we not do this? And they just question everything that they encounter in those literature pieces, which is amazing because then they just want to solve the world's problems, and they think it's just so easy and simple, but they have solutions, and they try to come up with those solutions. So one of my girls, she just recently told me, well, Ms. Silva, can we just not persuade them to
can we
change the
persuade
world?
them? That's what she said.
Yes, and just like that vocabulary words
Yeah.
that they use are just like, I'm like, wait, what do you mean persuade them? So and then they start to develop those critical skills. And it's like, well, remember when you taught us that if we want to persuade somebody, we want to convince them about this particular topic or to agree with us. So they just start to make different connections, and it's not just necessarily in science. But they do it in math, reading, social studies. So they do it across the board.
They become better communicators, right? And then they're able to go out into the world and better communicate, whether it's an idea, a thought, or as you say, persuade someone to join and collaborate. I know a lot of this wouldn't be possible without other parts and pieces and components and people who get on board, including mentors who mentor students as well. And that's where we want to bring in the Foundation for Choice Executive Director, Jessica Bartnick. Jessica, thank you for being here. I know that you're very involved in this E3 mentoring program. Can you explain for people what that is?
Yeah, it's just been amazing. We've been working with Toyota now for, I think this is our 8th year in the West Dallas STEM School and Pinkster feeder pattern. And we get to really work with these kids when they start in 7th grade and work with them all the way to and through college. We now have 2 graduating high school classes that are in college. And Toyota's been so instrumental in also giving them money and scholarships and just making sure that they have the tools to succeed. And Toyota employees get to mentor these kids. And it's just been amazing to watch them grow and develop throughout the years.
And I think what we're seeing, is you mentioned it there, money is a part of this. But if the money comes without a strategy, or if money comes without the people power and resources, it sometimes just kind of falls flat, right? I mean, you're really seeing the coalescence of people around the problem, finding real solutions. And I know you work with executives at Toyota. We've seen them in action in the classroom, but you also put out a call to working professionals anywhere and everywhere who want to be a part of a student's life for the better. What's sort of the archetype or what's sort of the model that you're looking for in a mentor?
Yeah, we really are looking for someone who just wants to give back, who wants to help a young person succeed. I mean, we want to break the cycle of poverty for these kids for generations. This isn't a today thing. This is a forever thing. And we're watching kids. I had a kid who reached out to me last year and said, thank you so much. You know, because of you, because of this program, I now was able to graduate from college. I have a baby, and I'm married, and I have a great job at a bank. And we're changing lives. And really, we're looking for someone who wants to do that. Who wants to be a part of not just today, but tomorrow, because that's what it's going to take to make this a better place.
I would think, Maria, that you see in these young students, many of them, and I had this conversation a little earlier, they sort of come into their own. They gain a level of confidence, right, to be able to express themselves and to be able to feel better about the future. I know that's a little more intangible to kind of talk about, but I'm wondering if you see that, if you feel it, or if you actually do see it in tangible ways as you see students move on to the next grade with a different level of confidence.
I do see it often, and just the fact that my kids, we have a talk about we just got done with our Education Go Get It Week, which is when we celebrate education. And so one of the main things that we were able to discuss is just how do you see yourself? You know, like, are you going to see yourself in college? And what career do you have? So they were able to talk to me about just the different opportunities that they see themselves. And what college did you go to, Miss Silva? And they start to ask me, how did that feel like, Miss Silva? It is amazing. And they see the value that college brings to them. I have one particular student that it comes to the top of my mind that he's like, well, you know, I think I'm going to consider UTA because that's where my mom went, or I think TWU because, you know, my sister's there and you went to that school too, Miss Silva. So it's just different connections that they're making with college. They already are aware of what college is. I talked to them about learning how to take notes so you know what to expect when it comes to college. And they're very excited to it. They're like, oh, you think we can go to college? Of course you can. So it's a lot of motivations that we bring to their kids, and just them even having this conversation about college, it's amazing. Some of our other kids don't get the opportunity to interact with even a family member that has not ever been to college until their teachers are the first role models there to motivate them.
Well, you're probably giving them a safe space as well. You're making them feel like if they have a dream that a year ago they felt was a pipe dream or it was lofty, they can express it and they can maybe find a way forward, right, to get there. Maybe one of those steps is college, and maybe it isn't. Whatever that roadmap is for them, they don't feel like there's any shame involved with saying what it is they want for their lives. I know United Way is an important part of this as well. They've come out with the Drive grant, which has seeded a lot of projects for students and so forth in the classroom with teachers. And Maria, you've applied this year. I'm wondering, what did that application look like, and did it require you to sort of dig deep and connect some dots with your own life as a teacher and what you want for your students?
So the process was very user-friendly, I would say. For sure. We did have to do a lot of the questions, just how we're going to use the funds, if we were to be granted those funds. I know my partner teacher and we apply for a research-friendly engine for them to actually conduct research that is specifically to their grade levels. And we also did a robotics. So we're trying to do robotics in our classrooms and as a club. So that process was very engaging for all of us. we did collaborate, and we're like, well, how do you think we're going to use it? And what do you think our times are going to be? So we definitely, the projects then with the United Way, we definitely make sure that we use all the funds as it's intended to. In the past, some of my coworkers have applied for it, and so they were able to help us navigate through those applications as well.
That's great.
I know our music teachers used it to buy materials and engage them in music lessons and just different activities where the kids are very hands-on and enjoy their education process.
Yeah, it sounds like just by letting me know that it's a wide range of things that the funds can be used for, and it's a matter of making the case that the money can be best used here for this reason, and then you sort of backfill all those areas where maybe there are some gaps, and that's really important. You're doing it with mentoring, the United Way is doing it with grants, and of course you're doing it on a daily basis as you continue to have conversations and lead this with this curriculum with Toyota and SMU's help. Thank you both so much. Really appreciate it, Maria. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jessica, thank you as well from Foundation for Choice. And with the Drive Grants program that United Way has come up with in cooperation with Toyota, it's now expanded beyond Dallas. Take a listen.
We have invested a little over $300,000 in West Dallas schools, impacting about 115 projects put forward by teachers in the West Dallas area. I'm one of their favorite person that arrives at their school, as you can imagine. With Drive presented by Toyota, teachers have an opportunity to receive this funding and not have to worry about getting money out of their pocket and still providing to their students. This program has been so successful here in the West Dallas area and in North Texas that it has been an expansion. This is our first year that we are expanding this program, Drive presented by Toyota, to the Huntsville City School district, and that's of course in Huntsville, Alabama. We have 8 schools in Huntsville City School District, and we are really excited. We're in the process of seeing these applications and reading and reviewing, and soon we will be able to award some funding to teachers in Huntsville.
If you're a working professional interested in mentoring a student, visit foundationforchoice.org. And for more on Drive Grants by the United Way, check out unitedwaydallas.org. All right, everyone, the guests are backed up here like planes on a runway today. We've got Destiny Merida here from Girl Scouts Northeast Texas, Blaine Rogers with Brother Bill's Helping Hand. We've talked a little bit about Toyota's partnership with them. We're going to delve a little deeper into that as well. Dr. Karen Pierce and Dr. Tony Harrison Kelly are here from the Bud Center at SMU. And I mean, the takeaway for me when I hear all of this is, and I know it sounds cliche, but it really does take a village, doesn't it? All the parts and components and pieces and people who are involved with this. What's it been like for you to be at the center of it?
I think the fun part about getting to be a part of the Bud Center is we're kind of the conductor in the middle when it comes to supporting the wraparound services, getting to bring all of our nonprofits even across West Dallas together to figure out how we're going to work best. So it's been exhilarating. It's been a continuation of the work that the Bud Center has done for many, many years, and we are excited to use it in partnership with Toyota and all the great things that are happening.
Do you think beyond the school, it's had an impact in that community? Because West Dallas has arguably been an area that's been marginalized for various reasons. That could be a whole separate study, right, on how our environments, how our urban environments and renewal and so forth are implemented. But do you think that beyond the schools, it's having an impact in that community?
That is a part of the model. So I love that Toyota baked in that we are supposed to be including the entire community. So the things that we are learning through this model with West Dallas STEM School are being transferred and shared with local schools in the Pinkston feeder pattern.
Yeah.
So we're able to take our discoveries and share those abroad and even go and implement some of our programming that is being piloted at West Dallas STEM School with other Pinkston feeder pattern schools.
Yeah, Dr. Pierce, I was saying to you offline that for communities that don't have the kind of corporate citizenship that we have in Dallas, they may not have a United Way chapter that's as robust as ours, or they may not have one at all. I should say wherever they are, they're present. But if they don't have a United Way, for example, there are some takeaways here. One of them might be, how does a school engage parents differently who are busy and some of them working two jobs to be more involved, and in what ways that doesn't necessarily involve having a partnership with Toyota? What can they take away from this?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the great benefits of this partnership work was the pre-existing relationships in West Dallas. This is part of why we are working with that vibrant community. However, we recognize the need to pilot programs and develop processes, but then share that in a way that is transferable. We talk about low cost, no cost, open source, implementation guides, playbooks, things of that nature, so that a different school district, possibly in a different state, possibly in a different community in the Dallas area, they are able to say, here's what was working in West Dallas, here's how we increased parent and community engagement on campuses, here's the impact it had on our students, and here are the easy to follow step-by-step processes that got West Dallas to where it is now. And knowing that every local context will be slightly different, it may not be perfectly fit, but with minor modifications and tweaks, potentially any campus could see dramatic increases in their engagement.
There might be some solutions that are more simple than you ever imagined. You just need to be told about them, right? Because everybody's so close to the work they're doing and caught up with just getting through each and every day with their students. Sometimes you can miss some of those things. Blaine Rogers with Brother Bill's Helping Hand. Blaine, I know you're very much a part of the community. You see people on a regular basis. You have a real sense of what's happening in the community by way of the people who are visiting the food pantry. Where has this made a measurable difference for you, this relationship with Toyota?
The first thing there is just flat out support from Toyota. I mean, almost anything that we've asked to do for the people of West Dallas, Toyota's been right there to support us and then build out the learning garden and just whatever we wanted to do inside the schools. Toyota SMU have been right there. Mostly to say yes. They've been great.
Yeah. They seldom ever say no, right? Or they have a solution for everything. Do you find that it's enabled you to be a little more connected and engaged in the community in a different way? You're not just, it's not a one-way, not that it's ever been a one-way relationship, but I think sometimes there's some shame around food insecurity that may, be a wall for some people, right? Do you find that they're more engaged and more engaging because of this relationship?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, dignity is a real thing. I mean, people want to feel dignified even when they're asking for some sort of support or help. And through those relationships and through our mission at Brother Bill's, that's something that we've always been focused on. And so this partnership is just another way that we can ensure that anyone in the community that's coming to us or coming to the school for help can do so in a dignified way, and that we're able to support them and not make it feel like a food pantry handout, but more of a shopping experience where they have an avenue to support their family and anyone else in the community.
Don't you think because you treat it that way, that's why so many of the people who may need you in a moment of need circle back and volunteer? Aren't a lot of your volunteers former clients?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Some of our former clients, we call them neighbors at Brother Bill's, and the neighbors turn into volunteers. They turn into employees for us because they all see the value of what we're doing and how we're serving people. And I think they see that experience that they had as a neighbor, they can then give that experience back to other people in need once maybe they don't have the need anymore, or while they're still in need, they can then serve other people in the same dignified way.
Yeah, Destiny, I'm wondering how life is changing for you all at Girl Scouts Northeast Texas because of this program. Are you seeing young women, young girls who are getting involved with science, and so they're stepping into the Girl Scouts with sort of a different level of interest in the world around them?
Absolutely. So I believe this program has done two amazing things. One, now we are being able to kind of explore STEM in a new level because now the girls are coming to us with already some type of knowledge or just interest. And so we're really able to grow on that. And then, of course, with the partnership with Toyota and SMU, being able to now use them as partners for exploration. So being able to take the girls out to learn more about the different careers in Toyota and even taking them to tour SMU and bringing that like as a real opportunity and goal for them to have. But then also because of the girls different communities that we work in, being able to be a part of this wraparound service has really been beneficial because when girls come to us and we're there to provide programming based around STEM, but if they have needs that are far bigger than what we can actually do, we're able to then refer them to those other community partners that we have right there at the school with us and in the community.
I was going to say it must be, in a sense, a relief because you carry a lot of responsibility for these young women. You want to set them up for the best. It must be easier doing it with a partner than going it alone.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's been such a pivotal way for us to even be able to now engage with parents in a new way because now they're coming out to see what their girls are doing, or they may be a part of a different program that's happening at the school. So now they're able to, get these resources while the girls are at Girl Scouts.
That's a good point. So if you're getting parents engaged with their curriculum more, they're going to be more engaged in the extracurricular stuff as well. When you hear those testimonies, both from Blaine and Destiny, I have to think, isn't that the proof you need that it's working?
Yeah, absolutely. We want those students to see every space that they occupy, every community partner or adult that they encounter as an opportunity for learning and expansion. Their classroom should not be four walls. It should be much, much larger than that. And we've been fortunate enough to work with Girl Scouts of Northeast Texas, Brother Bill's Helping Hand, and many others as well. And where we are today would not be possible without those types of partnerships and relationships.
Dr. Harrison Kelly, I'll give you the last word here and give me a sense of, we've talked about how far you've come. Where would you like to see it go from here?
We're so excited that the last PTA meeting, we were able to have almost 70 parents there, and that's
a level of engagement you hadn't seen before.
We started off last year or so, and we would have about in the teens, and now
you've gone to 70?
There were 70 people there at our PTA meeting, and so we know that this is just the tip of the iceberg as far as finding a model that works for parents and the school and the community partners, and taking that model across West Dallas and across the nation with the Toyota model.
Yeah, right from here, right from DFW. Thank you both for everything you do at the Bud Center at SMU. We really appreciate it, and to Toyota and all their partners, and our guests who joined us here today for Forward DFW. We will see you next time, everyone. Take care. To learn more about Brother Bill's Helping Hand, go to bbhh.org. And for more on Girl Scouts Northeast Texas, check out their website, gsnetx.org.